Today we're going to make candied nuts. It's going to be fun. Here are the things that you need in order to do it. Start with 2 cups of mixed nuts. If you don't like Brazil nuts, or if you don't like peanuts, or if you don't like something else, just take those things out before you start. But 2 cups, 1/4 cup of water, and 3/4 cup sugar. You need a skillet about this size would work. Something bigger or something smaller might not be as good. Something to put them in when you're done. A cookie sheet, some parchment paper to fit the cookie sheet. And finally, I like to use 2 different types of spoons. One a spatula and one a hard wooden spoon with some cooking spray on it. I like to spray both sides of the spoon and the spatula just a little bit, just enough to keep the sugar off of it. Okay, so as I said before, you just put 3/4 cup sugar in the skillet. I like to kind of shake it around so it's even. And then add 1/4 cup of water. And that doesn't have to be exact, as you can see I spilled a little bit there. I forgot 2 important things. In addition to the skillet, something like a pot holder to keep the skillet from burning your hand is always wise, and a dash of honey. Alright. Now for my particular oven, we put 9 minutes on the clock, and we turn it to slightly above medium, which for my oven is 5.5. And in 9 minutes, the sugar will caramelize. That is the point where it turns a little bit amber colored, a little bit brown. If you let it stay much longer than 9 minutes on this, it'll burn, and that's bad. So you got to kind of keep an eye on it the first time you do it on your oven. Time it, kind of make sure that it is the right amount of time. Okay, we're about halfway through our cooking, and you can see that the sugar's starting to boil. And we've had trouble the first few times we made it. We had trouble with the sugar crystallizing, and I think the problem was that we didn't let it get all the way to a stage of boiling that it turned to amber or turned to caramel. So if you see some crystallization, like on the sides right here, you can see a little bit of that going on right now. It has something to do with the humidity in the air, which it's kind of humid today, so we may have some trouble with that, and if we do, I'll show it to you when we're done. Okay, so a little bit early, we can see right in here this is turning a little bit amber, and also you can see right here next to the edge where it's crystallizing. That's not good. We don't want it to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the the amber colored caramel, and I'm going to come over here and kind of scrape the crystal off the side. Now, one of the recipes that we saw said don't do that. Don't stir it, because if you stir it, it'll make the crystals worse. But I have found that that's not the case, that actually makes the crystals go away. And I'm going to take the caramel, and kind of spread it around. Until all the sugar is the same basic color. Now, we still have about 30 seconds on our timer, but I forgot to start it in time. It's right now is time for me to add all of the nuts and take it off really fast. Otherwise it will burn, and you don't want it to do that. So I'm going to try it now. The next stage is just to make sure that all the nuts get covered in the caramel. And do this as quickly as you can, and then put it on the parchment paper. And then you're going to want to spread it out as quickly as you can too. And the way I found to do it is just again with the two different paddles. So the spatula as well as the wooden spoon. Now some of this is just perfect, and then some of it we do have some crystallizing going on. You can see it right in here, a little bit of crystal, which is not as good to taste as just the regular caramelized nuts. Give this about 10 minutes to dry, or not to dry, but to solidify, and then crack it apart, and it's really, really good. Okay, so we've let it cool, and we've let it kind of harden. So what I just do is smack it around a little bit, break it into bite-sized pieces, and then store it somewhere airtight, because if air gets into it, it'll get sticky. Here are a few safety tips, of course. The caramel is very, very hot. Don't touch it with your hand. Cast iron is always very, very hot when it's on the eye too, so don't touch it with your hand either. When you clean the skillet, don't leave the water in it for very long because it can rust. And usually just water will clean up the sugar, and you're good to go.